In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the sine rule to find a missing side. So here's a triangle. We have a triangle where this side is 6 centimeters long. This side is a mystery x. This is 40 degrees and this is 110 degrees here. You'll notice first thing is we're asked to calculate x corrected 2 decimal places. Now, normally when we look at a triangle, we ask ourselves, can we use Pythagoras' theorem? Well, we cannot use Pythagoras' theorem here because this triangle is definitely not a right angle triangle. So no Pythagoras' theorem. Can we use SOHCAHTOA? The answer is no, for the same reason, it's not a right angled triangle. So then we try what's called a sine rule. And for the sine rule to work, this is how I teach it, you have to have angles paired with sides. So see x is a side. Do I know the angle across from it? The answer is yes. I'm going to draw a little arrow across. So x pairs up with 110. For the sine rule to work, I need another pair. I need another side with its matching angle. And you'll notice that 40 degrees and 6 are across from each other. So there is another pair. So the sine rule is going to work. Now, which version of the sine rule will I use? Will I use the angle on top version or the side on top version? Remember in the last video, I talked that there's an angle on top version and a side on top version. Well, if it's a side that you're looking for, x is a side, then use the side on top version. It's much easier to use the side on top version. So back to this original question here. What I'm going to do is, it's very, very easy. We start with a side and we say x divided by the sine of its angle, which is 110, is going to be equal to the other side, 6, divided by the sine of its angle, 40 degrees. And that's how you use the sine rule to set up an equation. So again, this is a bit like saying a over sine A equals B over sine B. But I don't even use A's and B's. It's just that I've got a side divided by the sine of its angle across from it is equal to another side, a different side, divided by the sine of its angle. And once I can write this out where they're paired together, then the rest is fairly easy. Now, we want to get x on its own. What's this sine 110 degrees doing with the x? Well, it's x divided by sine 110. And to get rid of a divide by sine 110, we bring it over and multiply it. So we're going to have 6 multiplied by sine 110 degrees over sine 40. Notice that the 6 over sine 40 is still there. I just brought the sine 110 over and multiplied it by the top. And the good news is we can type this into our calculator and we're done. So to type it into your calculator, the best thing to do is to press the fraction key and to type in 6 sine 110, close your little bracket, arrow down and put the sine of the other angle on the bottom, which is 40. Close your bracket. Double check that what you've typed into the calculator matches up with what you've written. It's also on degree mode, and all I do is press equals, and up comes my answer, 8.7714. Now they want to correct it 2 decimal places, so it's 8.77. So it's going to be 8.77, and the units are centimeters, and that is my answer. Can I just point out how short this sum has become? We just labeled it, we just paired off our side with our angle, and then wrote our sine rule and cross multiplied, used the calculator, and we're finished. Okay, a second example. Example 2 here. We have to calculate x in this picture corrected 2 decimal places. So if you look, there's x that we're looking for. I have a pair, I have an angle across the way from it, 60 degrees, and I just need another pair for the sine rule to work, and I have another pair here like that. So I've got 2 pairs, the sine rule will work. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my x, which is a side. I'm going to side on top, x divided by the sine of 60 degrees this time, x divided by sine 60 will equal my other side, which is 15, divided by the sine of its corresponding angle or opposite angle. So here's my equation for this one. Now, to finish this sum, it's very easy, but just double check that you have this right. Notice it's a side divided by the sine of an angle is equal to a side divided by the sine of its angle, and they're opposites to each other. So x on its own, to get rid of a divide by sine 60, we bring it over and multiply it. So it's 15 sine 60 over sine 85 degrees. And all I have to do to finish the sum now is to work this out in my calculator, and I'm done. So fraction key, 15 sine 60, close bracket, arrow down, sine 85, close bracket, double check, press equals. They want it to 2 decimal places, 13.04 is the answer. So 13.04, and my units are kilometers in this particular question. And that's the sine rule. It's called the sine rule because it has sines in it. In the next video, I'll show you how to use the sine rule to find a missing angle. In this video, we did sides. In the next video, I'll show you how to find a missing angle.